rock and heavy metal. I'm Eddie Trunk, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts Don Jameson and Jim Florentine, and we've got an amazing show for you tonight.
That's right. We're pitting Sabbath versus Sabbath in the throwdown. We'll decide once and for all who was the best frontman, Ozzy or Dio. And in just a few minutes, we'll be joined by the legendary Ace Frehley.
It's 30 minutes of discussing and debating your favorite metal artists. It's That Metal Show, and it starts right now.
So it seems that everywhere you turn, your favorite classic metal band is back together or on some sort of reunion tour, ready to take those hard-earned dollars of yours for an evening of greatest hits. Now, in many cases, the classic bands you see live are those bands really in name only, with most of the original members gone. Let's face it, at that point, they're nothing more than a memory. So the question to you guys, in this era of classic metal comebacks, what makes a band, and do the fans even really care who's actually in the band on some of these reunions? What do you guys think?
I don't, look, a lot of the fans want to relive their youth, and they want their bands to look exactly the same from 30 years ago. And sometimes that's not going to happen. Some guys are going to put a few pounds on. You know, some guy in the audience that's like 45's got a gut out to here. He's like, I can't believe the bass player in Bullet Boys got fat. This is ridiculous.
Don't talk about Eddie that way.
But it's not even a question of what they look like. Do you care who's in?
Well, yeah, you can't do Motorhead without Lemmy. But Lemmy could do Motorhead with pretty much anybody. You know, same with Dave Mustaine. Megadeth is still pumping out great music, but it's always different band members.
Clearly, people still care about Guns N' Roses with just Axl.
Right.
But, you know, where does the line get drawn? It depends.
Well, that was the thing. I was skeptical about seeing the new Guns N' Roses. I saw them last year, and it's Axl and Dizzy Reed, which was on the second record. And I'm thinking, who are these new guys? But when they went out there, they kicked ass. That new band is amazing. And Axl's one of the best frontmans ever in rock, so it worked. So I didn't really miss the other guys.
I think the problem is, the fans get messed up because there'll be, say, two versions of the band touring at the same time, and you're not sure who's in what band,
Well, L.A. Guns, there's two L.A. Guns.
Right.
Now, let's face it, L.A. Guns really, needs one L.A. Guns to even try to do decently on the road.
Well, you know what? I solved that. I went to sort of tribute to L.A. Guns.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so it was fine. So I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Is there anybody from the original L.A. Guns in the tribute?
They actually have two original members.
Yeah.
I think if they go that far, they might as well every member of the band should have their own version of the band. Yeah. Just have 5 L.A. Guns. Everyone has their own version.
Yeah, well, maybe we're getting to that point. Who knows? I'd like to bring out right now this week's special guest, and this is an interesting topic for the guest we're about to bring out as well. He was the lead guitarist for one of the most iconic hard rock groups of all time as an original member of course, Kiss. He's also had a successful solo career, and he's here, and he's without the makeup. Well, actually, not any more makeup than me or the guys are wearing right now for television. Please welcome the Space Ace himself, the one and only Ace Frehley. Good to see you. You're looking well. You're feeling well?
It's good to be seen.
Was that ever in doubt?
I don't know.
You a year ago, it was just around a year ago that we're taping this, that you sort of relaunched your solo career by playing a Halloween party I did here in New York. And off of that, you put a new band together. You went out, did a bunch of shows in America and Europe.
Yeah.
But how's it feel to be out there doing your thing again?
When I got off the stage, I said, why the hell have I been away from the stage so long? This is like what I do. I love doing this. And, next thing you know, I put a tour together, and right now, I just crawled out of the studio, finishing up the record, and hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year,
Hey, so what was the biggest accomplishment in your career? Like the first platinum record, or be invited to Eddie Trunk's wedding?
Actually, for me, growing up in New York, it was playing Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
And where does Eddie's wedding fit in?
Somewhere between Madison Square Garden and me totaling, my Porsche.
I'll tell you a funny story. Ace, you know, obviously Ace and I are friends for many years, and he was nice enough to come to my wedding. It was a really funny, quick story. I don't even know if you remember this, but he walked. It's enough. That's all you need to know. Walked in with a video camera in the middle of the first dance with my wife, and just kicked the door open and walked into the thing. It might as well just had a smoke bomb when you came out. And it was already like, Ace is here, everyone.
Now, speaking of smoke bombs and stuff like that, how'd you start to come up with like the effects that you use on your guitar?
I came up with that idea in Canada on one of the very first Kiss tours, and you know, on a Les Paul, you know, there's this compartment in the back where the you know, the volume and tone controls are, and I just like stuck a smoke bomb and stuck the fuse out from the back and lit it with a cigarette lighter, you know, and the smoke oozed out of the pickups, and you know, after about 2 or 3 times, it gummed up all the volume controls, and they wouldn't work. So we had to figure out a way to do it without, you know, screwing up the electronics.
And how do you do? How do you have the rocket shooting out of the top of the guitar?
You know, the rockets coming out of the guitar actually was like a fallback from originally I had a fiber optic running through the neck, and I was going to blow up stuff with laser beams. And then, like, that was right around the time Blue Oyster Cult blinded somebody at a concert, you know. And they came down with all these regulations about, you know, yeah, you couldn't use high-powered lasers on stage. So I told the guy, you know, I go pull out the fiber optic and stick wires through it, and we'll put rockets on the end of it, and the rest is history, right?
How did it, you know, getting right to the point, there's a lot of people that, myself included, that it doesn't sit right with, that the band dresses other members as you and Peter. As a guy who was an original member of that band and helped create that stuff, from an outsider's perspective, what do you think when you see that? What are your thoughts?
You know, it is what it is, and I let the fans do the talking about that, you know. What do you want me to say? Am I happy about it? No.
So you're saying you haven't seen Gene's reality show then?
I have seen it a couple of times. I think it's hysterical.
Well, Ace should have his own reality show.
Absolutely.
Frehley's Family Funhouse or something.
I passed on that.
Oh, you did?
I got offered that.
Do you mind that this guy in the audience has your makeup on, or?
Yeah.
You're not going to be like Gene and collect on the design.
If there was a way Gene could collect on it, I'm sure he would.
Up next, Jim and I track down some of your favorite bands. Well, not your favorite bands, but the tribute bands to your favorite bands. Don't worry, though, we took them very seriously. More seriously than they probably would have wanted.
Also coming up, our audience has some questions, but I got some answers. That's right, we're gonna play a little Stump the Trunk. So stick around. We'll be right back with more of That Metal Show. Welcome back to That Metal Show, the single destination of all things hard rock and heavy metal. Now, Ace, Kiss has more tribute bands than you can possibly count, but there's a lot of bands that have their own tributes as well, and Jim and Don hit New York to go check out some of them and see how authentic they all really are. Let's check this out.
Hey, we're right next to a stinking subway stop outside the Bowery Ballroom in New York City.
And there's a bunch of tribute bands playing in here tonight, and we're going to ask them a bunch of questions to see how much they really love their bands.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the real bands, but then again, we're not real rock journalists, so.
We are real alcoholics.
Well, then let's get to the bar.
We're here with David Bowie and his band.
Pleasure to be here.
We're excited to be interviewing the Bee Gees today. How you guys doing?
We're outside the Bowery Ballroom with David Lee Roth. How you doing, Dave?
Tommy, Mick, Vince, and Nikki from Motley Crue. Now, Tommy, can we expect any crazy drum solos tonight? What do you plan on doing to wow the crowd?
I have a big schlong.
What about in mind? How's things going with that?
It's wonderful, you know, daughter's thriving.
Oh, you guys have a daughter?
Yeah, she's about 9 now.
What do you mean about? How old are your kids now, Tommy?
Like 17 and 13.
17.
But you know, you forget these things after a round and about in England. You know,
Really? What kind of parent forgets a kid's birthday?
They're like 8 and 10 or something. 7 and 4?
You don't know their ages?
No.
What about Wolfgang? How are you getting along with him? He's a 17-year-old kid.
Well, as you said, he's a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, isn't that ironic that all you guys are in your 50s and he's the one that's most out of shape in the band?
Well, that's for you to report. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting no comment from me on that.
I met you years ago. You know, my buddy Matt used to be your tour manager when you were doing the solo stuff. We met at the Trump Marine. I don't know if you remember.
I don't.
Do you remember Matt, right?
Yeah, I know a couple Matts, actually.
Yeah, no, he was your tour manager.
Great guy.
What was his last name again? I forget.
Look at all the people here tonight.
Tommy, can you talk about some of the solo stuff you've done over the years?
You guys had a really cool name before Van Halen. I forget what it was, though. I remember when I heard it, I'm like, wow, they could have stuck with that name. What was it again?
Unchained, the Mighty Van Halen tribute band.
No,
it wasn't that. It was something else.
Methods of Mayhem.
What was the band again? I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was called.
You're going to really try and extract this out of me, ain't you?
Yeah, what's the big deal? It's like you're not advocating drugs or anything like that.
You guys think Andy would like the direction the band's gone in?
Andy's coming tonight.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Didn't he pass away?
This is trivia question session. Like, you know, we could just shoot all the trivia questions you want.
You didn't like these questions?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit Bush League, but it is VH1 classic.
What do you mean?
Yeah, MTV, Rolling Stone, they ask the good questions. You'll figure it out.
Well, here they are, the very forgetful Motley Crue. Thanks, guys.
David Bowie and the Spiders, the Gigi.
Pearls of Wisdom from David Lee Roth, the man.
There they are, the Bee Gees, back together and kicking ass.
Well, thank you guys very much. Thanks to everybody out there in VH1 Classics land. And now let's go inside and rock and roll.
Let's do it. You got strippers in there? Come on, let's go. You like that, Ace?
I thought it was great.
You know, that took place right here in New York City, and I know you had a comment about what happens if Barack Obama came to New York?
He'd be Barack in the New York groove.
See, Ace knows how to deliver a joke.
Oh, man. Now, Ace, there's been a million Kiss tribute bands. Probably the most tributed band is Kiss. Have you ever seen any? Have you ever seen any musicians or Kiss tribute bands that you thought were really good or did a good Ace?
Yeah, I mean, there was one I jammed with in Canada. I mean, it was really weird because the guy who did Gene was like, he looked just like Gene. You know, when I was a little drunk at the time, I'm looking at the guy, and he looked like Gene to me. I almost kind of like went into like a...
Ask him where your royalty check was.
All right, Edward, once again, it's time to face a room full of metal experts. Now, Jim and I looked over some of the questions, and we got some really good ones tonight. There's even one in there about some obscure bands' demo tape.
Love those.
You always love those, right? Ed, you know what time it is.
All right, it's Stump the Trunk time, and let's bring our first contestant up. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Brittany.
Hi, Brittany. What's your question for Eddie?
My question is, who temporarily replaced Klaus Meine of the Scorpions while he was ill?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I know Britt. Britt knows her stuff. She would know that. I got to be honest with you. I did not know they ever did shows without Klaus. So you tell me you won, Britt. What is it?
Don Dokken.
That's right.
Oh!
Nice.
Reach into the box of junk.
Oh, she got the Black Sabbath box set.
Nice.
Rules of Hell, Ronnie James Dio.
She could just be making
Thank
that
you,
up.
Brittany.
Thank you.
No, it's a...
What about verification?
I know Don sang backing vocals on some stuff, but I didn't think he actually fronted the band for
Well,
a
he
show.
did.
Let's have someone verify that and
I'm
continue
checking
on.
that with the judges. Not that I trust Brittany, but still.
Okay, our next... How you doing, man? What's your name?
Mark.
Mark,
That shirt
what's your...
licensed, sir? Is that shirt licensed?
I'd rather not say.
Oh!
No, I'm kidding around. I got it at a Kiss convention.
Okay.
Gene, you got your money.
All right, what's your question?
Which famous Rainbow song featured the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra?
Ooh. I'm going to say Greensleeves.
I'm sorry, it's Stargazer.
Stargazer? Has an
Stargazer,
orchestra
yeah.
on it?
Yeah.
What? You guys are making stuff up.
No.
Stargazer is like kick-ass from start to finish. Where's the orchestra?
No, someone else wrote the question.
See what I'm saying?
No,
Now we find out.
you got the question wrong. Don't get angry.
Is it seriously, where is their orchestra in Stargazer? Can someone tell me?
It's in the middle section.
I'm going to check all this.
Oh, you got Rock Band too. Nice.
Oh.
And wait.
All right. Thank you very much.
And since you stumped Eddie, you also get Rock Band drums, guitar, and vocals.
I
Nice.
still want to hear the orchestra in Stargazer.
Yeah.
Now, this guy's going to give me a question I can work with. I can feel it.
All right.
Don't say your name is Tommy Thayer.
This is,
Ouch.
Don, it's not Tommy Thayer. It's Ace Frehley on crack. Ace, what do you think of the makeup? Do you like it? Is he close?
A little. No. You gotta.
Just shorter.
You gotta get drunk, though.
I'm halfway there, you know?
Yeah. I smell Jaeger on his breath. He's there. He's there.
Then buy a DeLorean and take a ride.
Oh, Eddie, come on.
All of a sudden, that's bad?
This is not a comedy show, Ed.
I know, I've been to yours.
Yeah, who sang vocals on the Kiss song Little Caesar?
Eric Carr, the late, great Eric Carr.
That's right. Can't stump the trunk with that one.
I'll give you one better. He played bass on it, too.
Wow. What?
See, I'm educating the people, too, a little bit.
Great guy. Great guy.
Eric Carr was the best. Absolutely. Ace loved him, too. All right, well, this week I'd like to talk about our pick of the week, and it really is a great new documentary that took this past year's Sundance Film Festival by storm, and it could probably best be described as Spinal Tap, the true story. In reality, it's actually the unbelievable story of a relatively unknown Canadian metal band that's been around since the early 80s called Anvil. The film is called Anvil, The Story of Anvil. The three of us got a chance to check it out last night, and we've all been raving about it all day today. Amazing piece of work, and even if you don't know the band, it's just something you got to see if you're a rock fan.
Yeah, even if you don't like Anvil, it's a compelling story. It's sad. It's funny. It's an amazing journey with that band for over 30 years. You know, the ups and downs they had and stuff like that. It's awesome. Yeah. I actually cried watching the movie. Yeah.
A lot of people just know them from their first 3 albums, but they've been, actually Rob, the drummer, and Lips have been together since the late 70s. They actually have 14 albums out. And what was really cool about it was Slash, Scotty, and Tom Araya, Lemmy, and Lars all paid tribute to the band at the beginning of the movie, just singing their praises. And I think we want to say a shout out to Lars tonight to say, hey, if you love the band so much, why don't we take him on tour?
Take him on tour.
Get him on tour. We want to see Anvil opening for Metallica.
There you go.
Well, we got to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to find out whatever happened to your favorite metal stars of yesteryear. And this week is proof that dropping out of the music scene isn't always the worst career move.
That's right. We're also going to try to put together a very, very big argument between Black Sabbath fans. The best frontman, Ozzy or Dio? That's coming up next in the Throwdown. It's That Metal Show.
Joyce. That Metal Show is here.
Did you guys miss me?
Ingve is all you got to say.
The only destination for all things hard rock and heavy metal.
Over 250 F-bombs in 90 minutes.
Eddie Trunk is like the Barbara Walters of metal.
Yeah.
That Metal Show. An all-new episode next Saturday at 11.
Sweet cherry pie!
Only on VH1 Classic. Love your idols. We do.
It's getting dumber by the minute. Welcome back to That Metal Show. Now, usually when we talk about an artist in our Whatever Happened To segment, it's usually a story of a person who either fell off the face of the earth or is ready to make a big comeback. This week, however, we have an update on a musician who left the stage but moved on to bigger and better things. What do you got, Jim?
Yeah, this week's email is from Tommy C. from Buffalo, New York. Tommy asks, I read somewhere that former Angel member Greg Giuffria has become a mega-rich agent or businessman or something to that effect. Is he? And should I not count on a big House of Lords reunion anytime soon? P.S. Eddie, you have a great smile.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. One for me for a change. That's nice. Ace, we were just talking about this during the break. Greg Giuffria was a member of Angel, and then he did the band Giuffria, then House of Lords. And he's made a ton of money. Apparently something about, he came up with a chip that plays all music in slot machines. and he actually owns casinos and is just, you know, completely removed from the music business.
Well, the chip also has to do with figuring out odds and stuff, I believe.
I heard something like any slot machine that plays a song, he basically gets paid on, like every time it's used or something. So Greg Giuffria is not going into clubs with House of Lords anytime soon, trust me.
All right. All right, now we're going to put to rest the mother of all arguments, a Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath battle between the two best frontmen, Ozzy Osbourne and Ronnie James Dio. It's the Throwdown. Can I get 2 minutes on the clock, please? All right, Ace, your choice.
Well, I got to go with Ozzy. I mean, you know.
Eddie.
Going with my man, RJD, Ronnie James Dio.
Jim Florentine?
Ozzy.
Ozzy. And the correct answer is Ian Gillan. From the Born Again album and tour. No, I think it's Ozzy, mainly because he sings all the most memorable Sabbath hits and songs. You know, he has, you know, more releases with the band. And let's face it, the answer really is in the question, better frontman. Ozzy was is the more dynamic entertainer in terms of you never knew what he was going to do. If he was going to pee on a roadie or vomit on the audience, you didn't know.
Snort ants or whatever. Ozzy's a great frontman. To get a crowd going, I never saw anybody like him.
Look,
Ronnie's a better singer. I'll give him that.
By far, yeah.
Of course, and I'm not going to sit here for a second and say the stuff they made with Ozzy is not beyond classic. For me, the reason why I say that is personal, because I love Ronnie. He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet in your
Without
life.
a doubt.
One of the greatest singers ever. And for me personally, the first Sabbath album I ever got was Heaven and Hell in 1980, and then I went back and learned the old stuff. So for me, I love that they're back together with Ronnie, and I love the music they're making. Ace, did you have any experiences with Ozzy or anything you can tell us?
Well, yeah, when we had our first album out, you know, with Kiss, we opened up for Black Sabbath. Wow. Somewhere in the Midwest, you know, and I had the pleasure of meeting Ozzy, you know, when I was just a young shaver. And it was great. You know, and since then, you know, I've met him, you know, we've hung out a couple of times. And, great guy, you know.
Well, obviously.
Look, it's got to be Ozzy. If it wasn't for Ozzy Osbourne, there'd be no reality TV.
Oh, yeah.
And there wouldn't be a spot in Sabbath for Ronnie to take. But, hey, I give Ronnie, he is definitely the best rainbow singer.
The albums that they made with Ronnie are phenomenal, and the new music with Ronnie is that they're making is phenomenal.
Let's find out what the audience thinks. Who's the better frontman, Dio? Or Ozzy? I'm right again.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time. We'd like to thank Ace Frehley for stopping by. Give it up for Ace.
And we'd like to thank the Metal Maniacs here in the studio audience, as well as you guys watching at home.
To see extras, outtakes, or full episodes, you can always find us at vh1classic.com. I'm Eddie Trunk, and for Don Jamieson, Jim Florentine, we'll see you next week right here on That Metal Show.
Have a big